So, what does pop star Madonna and Queen Elizabeth have in common? They've both at one point been referred to as being a cougar. A cougar is a term used to describe a middle-aged woman that goes after the affections of younger adult men. And at least in the celebrity world, it seems that there's an ongoing trend of cougar dating. TV presenter Caroline Flack, Hollywood actress Demi Moore, and pop star Madonna, who at 51, and with an age gap of 28 years between her and Cub Jesus, was actually older than the Brazilian model's grandmother. And the history books aligned with their very own cougars, such as Empress of Russia Catherine the Great, courting a series of young adult men throughout her lifetime, including one Prince Zubov, with an age gap of 40 years. No wonder she was called the Great. Then there's Eleanor of Aquitaine, who brought with her a new meaning for marriage, being referred to as the ball and chain, because as penance for a failed kidnapping attempt, she demanded marriage of her kidnapper's brother, Henry II, which also turned out to be her cousin by third degree, with her 30 to his 19. But no doubt the grand title for the most famous cougar in history has to go to Queen Elizabeth I of England. Although often referred to as the Virgin Queen, she certainly was touched more than one time, and although to never marry, she certainly had a fair share of lovers. And in 1581, the 48-year-old Queen shared her royal bed throne with Francois, Duke of Anjou, a 26-year-old, and even our Victorian ancestors had a thing for cougar dating. New research by family history website ancestry.co.uk shows that by comparing the 1841 UK census to the most recent 2011 one, 16% of Victorians shared a household with 10 years between them, and in 61% of cases, the older spouse was a woman, compared to 8% in today's households. But whereas today's cougars mainly date younger men for preference, for the Victorian mature lady, it was out of a need rather than by choice. In the 19th century, mortality rates in the workplace were relatively high, resulting in a large number of widows. These widows would then marry younger men to support their already growing families. So we can see that cougar dating has a long and colourful history, but what about today's society? Is it still deemed a taboo? And why would a middle-aged woman today want to date a man half her age? Is it purely just about the sex, or could it be something a bit more? So, being a roving reporter, I went and found my very own cougar. Meet Lucy Cavendish, a 45-year-old journalist who last week I went on a date with and then found out her perspective on cougar dating.
I'm not sure if it's for me. I think it's for other women. It's for Madonna.
How was it dating me, a
Very nice.
25-year-old man?
It was great. I was very, we've had a fun time, and I think we've carried on a sort of fun friendship. It's interesting to know whether or not, when it comes to cougar dating, people talk about dating or they talk about relationships. I think going out with someone who's younger than you can be flirtatious and fun, and you have a good time. There's lots of good energy going on. I think having a relationship with someone much younger than you, much younger than me, would be very difficult. Okay. Almost impossible, actually.
So, although in theory, to date a man half her age would be fun, to have a proper relationship, it's a no from Lucy, unfortunately for me. But what about other women? Could they date substantially younger men? I'm with Sam and SJ. So, ladies, what's your perspective on cougar dating?
Well, I've never tried yet.
You've not tried yet?
No.
Have you been tempted?
I'm a virgin one.
You're a virgin one, like Madonna herself.
Oh, right, yes, very much so.
Just like. And yourself, SJ?
I'd say lucky boys.
Do you think there's sort of taboo in regards to older women dating younger men?
I think there's a taboo for older women as a whole, as in just being old and having fun, going out, looking sexy is generally thought to be a little bit weird. That's why we don't see older women on telly so much.
So what are your thoughts on cougar dating?
It's all very good if you can get it. I don't really date young men, though, because I've got an older one that it takes up my time.
If you didn't have an older one, how young would you go?
Ooh, good question. Ooh, probably about 26, something like that.
About 26. Oh, okay. And do you think it can work, a relationship between a younger man and an older woman?
Depends on what kind of relationship, I suppose. I suppose, yeah, if it was just about one thing, then maybe, but it's about the whole package, I doubt very much.
I have to confess, I think it is a bit weird when I see a really old, ugly guy with a young, beautiful woman.
How young would you go in regards to dating a guy?
Well, yeah, as I say, my fiancé is younger than me, and that already feels quite a lot younger, so probably not a lot younger than that.
What's the youngest man you would date?
Oh, God, I would say 30.
Not
Well,
myself.
I'm 42,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would say about 30.
About 30.
Is that too old for a cougar?
No, that's about right. That's
Right,
fine.
okay.
And what would the advantage be of, say, dating a younger man than opposed to an older man?
Well, there are. But they're good looking, still got hair, usually slender.
Just about.
Yeah, there's quite a few pluses, I should think. Yes, I would say that the figure, maybe, but I would also say that they've got a lot more life to live and they've not set in their ways, perhaps.
yes.
So I think that might be quite good for a woman.
And no children of their own, generally. No life of their own yet.
I'm actually really selling it to you, aren't I? I don't even have to sell it.
No, it's actually a real plus. No, yeah, that sounds good, but it's never happened to me yet.
Do you think the taboo of cougar dating has finally been broken?
Yeah, I think so. I think if people, women generally, if they can choose what they want more, so I think yes, it's more acceptable, although not wholly tasteful.
Apparently Australians are famous for being cougars.
How young a guy would you date?
Date or kiss? Because there's a difference. Date 30, kiss maybe 25.
I'm 25. No.
How did I know that was going to be the
I
end
know,
of
it's
the
right.
conversation?
Is that the end of the conversation?
I think so.
Oh, shame. Not all episodes of Perspective will have a clear for or against argument. And the topic of older women dating younger men for many of us will probably not have much of an impact in our lives. But what I did find interesting, speaking to some of the women I interviewed, is that although the taboo, if there ever really was one, seems at least on the surface to be non-existent, they did have an issue with the negative connotation surrounding the word cougar, as opposed to the male equivalent, sugar daddy. And, if given the circumstances, although many would happily consider dating younger men...
Well, I've never tried yet.
Tried yet?
No.
Have you been tempted?
I'm a virgin one.
Many said it would have to be a short-term affair, which is exactly what happened to our 3 celebrity cougars, or should that now be sugar mummies? So what's your perspective? Please don't forget to subscribe and write a comment in the box below.